Charlotte Mason Enrichment is thrilled to bring you another incredible summer conference. This year, our theme is building strong families through habits of the home. Nothing of value and purpose happens on accident. Strong families must be built with intentionality, effort, and consistency. That sounds like a habit to me. Charlotte said that the habits of the child produce the character of the man. She also said that there is nothing which we do which is important as forming habits, because after all, it is that which makes the difference between one person and another. The habits that we keep are a big deal, and they are an important part of the work that we do as parents and home educators. So at the conference, we're going to be looking at habits in 4 different categories. The first one is the habits of the heart, the habits of the mother, the habits of the child, the habits of the schoolroom, and we're also going to talk about homemaking, because that's a really big part of what we do on a day-to-day basis. So I have invited Miss Cindy Rollins, Amy Farquhar, Rachel Bird, Mary Salas, and Melissa Stefani to help us unpack these amazing topics. These ladies are phenomenal, and they have so much wisdom. They have so much expertise to speak to these topics. And so I know that we are going to learn and grow a lot from each session and each speaker. So the dates of the conference are July 18th and 19th. The 18th is a VIP session at night. And then the 19th is a full day where we are going to just be committed to learning and growing and having some fun while we're at it. So you can join us in person in Tulsa, or you can join us virtually for the entirety of the day. Be sure to go to charlottemasonenrichment.com/conference. That's charlottemasonenrichment.com/conference for more information and to get your tickets. And please tell all your CM mamas about this event, and I can't wait to see you there. Well, hello, and welcome to the Charlotte Mason Enrichment Podcast. My name's Elise Thompson, and I am so grateful that you are joining me and my guests today. We come to you every week, at least we try every week, and just to come and to encourage you as a homeschooling mom, to equip you with more tools in your tool belt, and also just to educate you as a Charlotte Mason home educator. And I am so excited about our topic and my guest today. Today we are talking all about music in a Charlotte Mason education. And we're going to look at 2 specific types of music, and that is folk songs and hymns. And what better guest to have than the Mrs. Folks and Hymns herself, Miss Hannah Fridenmaker. I'm so excited to talk to Hannah. Hannah's kind of a big deal in our house. Before we started recording, I brought my kids up, and they were like so excited to get to see Hannah. I think they forget that we live in the same city. Yeah. But so it was just fun for them to see their reaction to seeing Hannah. So anyways, would y'all just join me in welcoming Miss Hannah Fridenmaker to the episode today? Welcome, Hannah.
Thank you. So happy to be here.
Yay! So glad you're here. Thank you for saying yes to being on the show. So for those of you who aren't familiar with Hannah Fridenmaker has a pretty big YouTube channel and also a Patreon where she records the monthly folk and hymn song for Ambleside Online. And so she posts those every month on YouTube, and she has the lyrics and the chord charts and all the things on our Patreon. And it is such a blessing to not only my family, but so many other families that incorporate folk songs and hymns in their Charlotte Mason education. So that's a brief introduction of Hannah. But Hannah, why don't you just introduce yourself to all the listeners?
Alrighty. Well, I am Hannah Fridenmaker. I am a mother of five, ages 3 to 13. Homeschooling, we use Ambleside Online, Charlotte Mason method all the way from the very beginning. We live in Oklahoma. And like Elise said, I've got the YouTube channel, Folks and Hymns, where we do pretty simple recordings of the folk songs and the hymns that hopefully help people learn the songs easily, keep them simple.
Yes. Yes. I was so grateful when I found your YouTube channel because I was like, oh man, it felt like a really big task. Like I wanted to incorporate the music into our education. But it did seem like for whatever reason, it felt like a really big obstacle. And so
Mm,
I was so glad when I found you and I was like, "Oh, she just makes life so much simpler." And the songs, like her voice is so beautiful. And yeah, it was just such a blessing. So,
good, good.
um, yeah. So how did you first discover Charlotte Mason? Like what drew you to her philosophy?
Well, I have to give all the credit to my big sister. Um,
Oh.
big sister pioneers, who do all the things first. So I was just starting to have babies, and she was just a few years ahead of me. And so she did all the research and she brought me or gave me somehow, I don't remember how, we were living in different cities, but anyway, somehow she got me the book For the Children's Sake.
Mm,
And I'm sure many, many people listening to this podcast have read the book or know the impact of that book. Usually when you read it, you're like, okay, I'm sold. I'm in. That's it. So, from then on, I mean, I think my oldest was probably 2 or 3 whenever I read
mm,
that book. And I was like, oh, this is beautiful. I love this. And so, I had a couple of years to sort of get my bearings in the method and before I had to start implementing it, which, was always an adventure as you go, but it's
yeah.
been good. It's been great.
That's so great. So she does Charlotte Mason as well, your sister?
Um, she is a eclectic homeschooler.
Ah,
I would call her
okay.
eclectic. So yeah, she
That's
she tends to take from the different
yeah.
um methods and styles and put some things together. So it's
That's
fun.
so fun, but it's
Yeah.
probably nice that you guys, like, can talk about that,
Uh-huh.
have,
Yeah.
like, some common ground on that. Well, that's so cool.
Yeah.
So, what then inspired you to start recording the folk and the hymn songs?
Okay, so we were living in California at the time, and we had a the community out there is so beautiful. The Charlotte
Mm,
Mason community, just such good people. And so we would come together about once a month at the time, just, somewhere out in nature, and we would sing the songs together. But we found that it was difficult with everybody learning different versions of the songs. So
mm,
I was like, well, why don't I just record a version of the song and send it to people that we can all learn the same song or the same version of the song and we can sing it together more easily. So
mm.
I recorded in my little dining room the first couple of songs, and then I was like, well, how can I share it? We'll just put them up on YouTube and send everybody a link. And so I was
Yeah.
like, oh, I'll have a little 20-person channel. Yes. so so I put it up there for my little local community, and then somebody shared it on the AO Facebook page, and it it seemed to go. It's just kind of
Wow.
yeah, it just kind of exploded. It seemed like, yeah, like you were saying, that it helped a lot of people just to have the songs up there. So yeah,
Mhm.
it has grown way more than we ever expected it to. And we're just trying to, keep up and steward it the best that we can. But
Yeah.
it's a joy. Yeah.
That is so fun. That is really cool. Yeah, I remember. So like you said, you lived in California and then you moved to Oklahoma, and I think you came like probably a little before, maybe a little after I joined the community, and I just
Hmm.
remember hearing like, "Oh, that's the girl from YouTube," and I was like, I don't know about this YouTube. Please tell me." But it's funny, like that's how a lot of people like came to know you was
Hmm.
through the YouTube channel that you created.
Yeah.
So that is really cool. So as you've immersed yourself in the music, like the folk songs and the hymns, like what aspect have you come to appreciate the most um about the folk songs and the hymns? Because I'm guessing that maybe like were folk songs a part of your life before like really incorporating them like in a Charlotte Mason education?
Well, since I began, yes, we tried to learn them.
Mhm.
they weren't part of my life growing up, really, besides, you would learn some kids' songs whenever we
Mhm.
were young. But
Yeah.
whenever I started listening to the songs and kind of getting to know them, even in the early days, when I was first discovering Charlotte Mason, I mean, I think maybe I've always been kind of folky at
Mhm.
heart.
Yeah. I love
So
it.
we started singing those songs, and I was like, oh my gosh, this is like, this is something that is in me that I love so
Yeah.
much. So, um, I don't know if I answered your question,
Yeah,
but,
yeah.
or you can
Yeah, but,
repeat the
like, what
question maybe.
no, you're good. Like, what have you come to, like, appreciate, like, maybe even
Oh,
more as
yes.
you've, like, really, like, looked at the lyrics and looked at the story that's in
Hmm.
the song? Like, is there anything in
Yeah.
particular that you've just really grown to appreciate?
Yeah. So yeah, and appreciate them in different ways with folk songs versus
Sure.
hymns.
Yes.
So with folk songs, the history and the culture that you get exposed to as you start singing these songs, you realize that these are songs that have been sung for generation after generation, and you
Mm,
feel, whenever we're singing them, I feel like we're so connected with all the humanity that has come before us. It
mm,
feels like a how do I say it? Um, we can be so pinpointed in our own time. We're only aware of what is happening in our own moment right now. But as you start
mhm,
singing songs that people have been singing for hundreds and hundreds of years, you begin to broaden your view and
mm,
experience of life, and realize,
mhm.
oh wow, we are all in this together throughout time.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I think the connectedness to people from the past and to history from the past has been really rich. Singing, I mean, the experience, you're singing about experiences like wartime experiences, so you get a
Mhm,
little bit of access to what people are going through, what people would have been going through during that time. It's just
mhm.
so broadening and so enriching to be able to almost touch people from the past.
Yeah, that's really
um
cool. So it may just kind of like make the history then that we're learning, the kids are learning and we're learning with them, may give it another like layer of learning
for
that can
sure.
happen.
Yes, for
That
sure.
personal connection, I guess.
Yep, absolutely.
That's really cool. What about the hymns? Like what has that really like illuminated to you?
Okay, so hymns are so full of truth. And
Mm,
I was thinking about this yesterday, about the difference between reading truth or even reading a scripture.
mhm,
You read, "The Lord is my shepherd, I shall not want. He makes me to lie." You're going through it, and it's wonderful and it's good and it's deep. And
mhm,
the Holy Spirit moves through it. But when you slow truth down long enough
mm,
to sing it, I feel like it gives time for those truths to sink deeper in your
wow.
soul and
Mhm,
really kind of start transforming. "The Lord is my shepherd." It just gives it time to really sink
mm,
deep. So I feel
yeah,
like with hymns, you've got so much rich truth, so much theology in there, and you're slowing it down, you're letting it sink in, and you're also learning it repetitively. And there's no better way to learn truth than through song.
wow.
To
That's powerful.
Yeah, to really get it in you and to memorize it. I mean, the power of scripture songs and all of those things, the staying power that those things have. Like most of the verses that I have memorized deeply that are never going to leave, I learned as a child,
Wow.
through song.
Yeah.
So I just think that the repetitive action of singing truth into your own spirit and singing it to God is just so powerful. And then you're doing it with your family in a Charlotte
Yeah.
Mason.
Yeah.
Your children are marinating in that truth,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
you hear all of their voices all raised at
Mm,
once, and it's just beautiful and glorious.
yeah. I would agree. I would agree. Man, that is so true. Like it like you said, it does add just another depth, a layer of depth to truth and to scripture, like as we are singing the hymns. And I am so grateful that like Charlotte Mason obviously was so wise beyond her years, but I'm so grateful that that is a part of a Charlotte Mason education, because it does it it unifies us all as a family. Like we're all learning and focusing that truth, and there's just nothing that blesses my heart more when I'll hear my kids just in passing, around the house, singing one of the hymns that we've learned, or they'll ask sometimes to go back and to revisit some of the hymns that we've sung before. Or it is so great when you're in a church service or whatever, and it's they actually know these hymns that are hundreds of years old.
And
It
they're
is.
able to participate in that. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah, it's such a gift. I think that can easily be overlooked. Um, but man, we're really giving them a really powerful tool that, like you said, you'll never forget. It's so deep down in there. And so yeah, I think it is so great. And I know for me, when I first started Charlotte Mason education, I did, I've told y'all, I started in the middle of the year. So I definitely had a deer in the headlights season where everything just felt new and a little overwhelming. And so I think I did skip over doing the folks and the hymns. I'm we're just gonna try to do the basics or whatever. But once I came to find your YouTube channel and you simplified it for me, it's something that we cannot skip. My kids make sure every day we start our day with the folks and the hymns.
Awesome.
And I'm just so grateful for that, because it has added such beauty to all of our lives,
Yeah.
I'm always excited when it's a new month, and I'm what's the new folk of the hymn song that we're going to learn? And
Yep.
it's just something that we all connect over, and we're all really excited
Yeah.
about. So
Yeah. Good.
yeah.
Good.
So
I
how
love
long?
that. I love that I mean, generally these songs only take a few minutes to sing. I
Right.
love how much richness you can add to your day just by taking just a few minutes and
Yeah.
singing the songs together.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's a big impact
Absolutely.
few minutes.
Yes, absolutely. It's a good bang. It's a good
Yeah.
bang for your buck, if you
Yeah,
want to
yeah,
say that.
for
So
sure.
how many years have you been recording folks and hymns?
Oh, shoot. Where did we started? I was trying to remember if we started fall of 2018 or fall of 2019. I think it might have been 2018. So
Wow.
does that make us coming to the end of our 6th year, maybe?
That's
I don't know if
amazing.
I'm doing that math right, but yeah,
Sounds
yeah,
good to me.
yeah.
Wow, that's
Approximately.
amazing. I feel that's huge discipline and commitment to the process.
It's
Um,
been a joy. It's been a
yeah,
joy. And it takes a little bit of time every month, but the rewards for it are off the charts, being
yes.
able to help and to serve other people. And
Mm.
it's been a joy.
That's awesome. So what are some of the stories that you maybe have heard from other families or even your own family of how incorporating the songs, the folk songs and the hymns, how has that shaped maybe y'all's families or other families experience in their homeschool?
Well, I think like you said, most of what I hear is an expression of the joy of, like you said, like hearing your kids singing these things as I go through the house, and road
Mm,
trips where you're all just singing together, or going outside and having your time outside in the beautiful, glorious nature that the Lord has created, and
yeah.
lifting your voices and worshiping Him. It's there's a richness and there's a simplicity to it, that I don't have any grand stories, but
Yeah.
just any listeners, if you haven't tried it, if you haven't added that to your day, go ahead and try it and
Yes,
see what happens.
absolutely. Yes. So yeah, I that would be my next question is maybe there's moms that have skipped over that. Maybe they don't see the value or the importance of it. What words of wisdom could you give them? I mean, you kind of already did, but any other additional words of wisdom or encouragement that you could give them to just say, "Hey, just give it a try."
Yeah, yeah. Well, yes, that, like, go ahead and give it a try. It doesn't have to be a big, organized ordeal. You can when you feel ready and if you have time, there are things that you can add, like reading about the history of the song or whoever composed it, or, you can add those things in as you're ready. But if all that you can do is hit record on a song and just learn it,
Mm,
like read the
yeah.
words along, put it away and move on, that is, that is good enough. That is
Yeah.
mostly what we do, is we just, every once in a while, if something stands out to us, like a line or a stanza, I might bring that up as a very tiny little, very short discussion, like
Yeah.
like almost nothing. But it doesn't have to be big and overwhelming, you know. Press play, learn the song, play it in the car. That's a great
Yeah.
place. You're driving anyway, hit the button and
Yeah.
learn the songs, and you can add it to your day for 3 or 4 minutes and move on. That's
Yeah.
it. You've added something beautiful and rich to your day.
Yeah. That's so true. It really is just that simple.
Yeah.
Like it's not complicated. Like for us, that is like part of our morning time. We grab the remote, we turn on the YouTube channel, we find the last two songs she recorded, and we press play. There are some months where I will go and print off the lyrics, and we may read them a couple times. And then, if we do it 4 days out of the week, like we're going to memorize it like
Yeah.
by mid-month. And
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
it
For
really
sure.
just is that simple,
Yeah.
but so impactful. So,
And then there
okay.
are things like when you, once you feel comfortable with, and you've added them to your life and you have maybe a little bit more bandwidth or you have the interest, I love going and listening to all the alternative versions that you can find, especially of
Mhm.
folk songs. That's my,
Yeah.
my favorite, like, because most of the folk songs have been recorded so many different ways and so many different styles. And I feel like even just going and exposing your kids and exposing yourself to different ways that something has been done is
Mhm.
just that much more kind of eye-opening and enriching. Like, oh, that's fun. Oh, they sang different lyrics because, folk songs will be changed as they go
Okay.
from one person to another. Folk songs were, what do you call it? Not distributed. They were, can't think of the word. Folk songs were passed down by musicians. They weren't always even like written down and handed out as sheet music.
Wow.
One person would hear somebody in a village singing it and they'd go, oh, I love that, and so then they would go and they'd take it and they'd play it in their own scenario, and so it's almost like a game of telephone. So some
Oh,
folk songs
fun.
have dramatically different versions, that almost,
Wow.
you almost can't even tell they're the same song, but they actually came from the same root. So that's just something fun that you can add if you have
Yeah.
the bandwidth. It's just,
Yeah.
I think folk songs are really fun that way.
That's really cool. And then you also have on your Patreon where like you have the piano and the guitar chords as well. So if somebody is musical, like they could,
Yes.
pull them out and like
Yes.
play them and sing
Yes.
them if you're more musically inclined.
Yes, that's right. Yeah, we've got chord charts. I don't have any sheet music, but we do post chord charts for,
Mhm.
yes, piano and guitar every month. We take the audio file from our YouTube
Mhm.
video and we just make that into an MP3, because I know that a lot of families don't want to be on
Yeah.
YouTube all the time or whatever.
I
So
get it.
they're actually able to download the MP3s and just play them, straight
That's
from
really
their
cool.
phone. So yeah, that's
Yeah.
available
That's so
there.
great. And so your family, like you and your husband, have recorded a couple of like compiled a couple of albums as well, right? For
Yes,
of the folk and hand
it
songs?
was technically the same album, but we had to do it in halves. So it's
Oh, gotcha.
side A and side B.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, hymns volume one, and we took 1 year of hymns that were scheduled by Ambleside Online, and we recorded them in the studio. They're a little bit more arranged. There's more instruments. That surprises people sometimes when
Okay.
they hear it. They're like, "Wait a minute, where's the just the guitar and the vocal version?" And I'm like,
Uh-huh.
"Oh, we added some things." So yeah, so that's on there though if you want to just buy the whole year in all at one time and just have it. We also released just the instrumentals for those.
Oh, very cool.
So just remove the vocals and there's instrumental tracks for your family to sing along, if you want to just hear your family's voices. So yeah,
Oh,
that's
that's
there too. It's
awesome.
all on my Patreon.
That is so cool. Okay, this is like a random question, but I know there's been a couple of like songs that you guys have incorporated your kids in them. Is that something that they really enjoy doing, or is it like, come on guys,
Yeah.
let's all do it
Sometimes
together?
it takes a little encouragement. I
Yeah.
did my most recent one. That was definitely a volunteer She would
with your
come
little
in.
girl?
Yes, she would come in and
Oh,
sing it with me when I was practicing. And sometimes I'd take a video of myself practicing so I can hear how it's
mhm.
going. And she was just so like bright and just was enjoying singing with me so much. I was like, oh, we have to do this. And so I
Yes,
invited her to do it with me. And she was like, yes, she was excited about doing it. So,
it was
yeah,
so
so
sweet.
different kids have different amounts of excitement about
That
singing
makes
with me.
sense. They're different people, they're born persons,
They
so
are. Yeah.
yeah, that is so fun. Well, it's
Yeah.
always a sweet treat, when there's a different Fridenmaker that's a
Yeah.
part of it. Like, the kids were like, "Oh, her husband's in it this month." Like, they were very
Hmm.
excited. I
Yep.
think
And
that was
that's
in,
been
like,
really fun.
December.
Yep.
Yeah, getting to do it together.
Yep.
I
That's been really
love
special
it.
for us. Yeah.
Yay. Well, Hannah, thank you so much for, to your family for committing to do this. Like, I know it's, you have 5 kids, and so I know that it's, something y'all are very intentional about, but, just as from one family to another, thank y'all so much for making that available and making it accessible and making it very easy to add just a piece of beauty to the start of our day. And so we're so grateful for it. And so y'all should definitely go and check out Hannah. Definitely go check out her Patreon. I'll put a link in the show notes for that. And then also, you can go find her on YouTube. It's just Folks and Hymns is her handle on YouTube. And you can get her CD, or it's not a CD, it's
Just
an
digital.
album.
Yeah. Album
You can tell
project.
us, like, raised in the 90s,
Yeah.
saying a CD. But yeah, y'all can go and get her album on her Patreon as well. And I'm also so excited because Hannah is going to be helping to lead some hymns at the Charlotte Mason Enrichment Conference this summer. She got to do that last year. It was amazing. I think it was, like, for sure one of my favorite parts of the day, like getting all of these Charlotte Mason moms in the room. And yes, obviously a lot of people knew each other, but there was a lot of people from all over the United States. And so us all coming together and singing hymns at the start of our day. Like,
It was
I
beautiful.
mean, I kind of
It was
cry easy, but
beautiful.
I was, like, definitely a mush pot. It was just
Yeah.
so beautiful. Like, the Lord was definitely in our midst. And so I'm excited again to have you a part
Yeah.
of the
I'm so
conference.
excited to get to come.
It's going to be exciting, and it's going to be here soon in July. It always feels like when we start talking about it, it's like, oh man, summer's a long way away, but it'll be here before we know it. So it's going to be great. Well, awesome. Well, Hannah, thank you so much
Yes.
for joining the podcast today. It was such
Hmm.
a joy to speak with you. And again, I hope all of the Charlotte Mason moms who are listening definitely feel inspired and encouraged to continue or to start adding folks and hymns to your Charlotte Mason education. It's going to make such a huge impact. But that's all the time that we have for today. So, like we end every podcast in reminding us all that the only true education is self-education. So, even though we're busy and even though we've got a lot of things going on, we're never going to stop learning and we're never going to stop growing. And we look forward to coming to you again next week. You'll have a great one.